Hello everyone, it's your host I2I35, aka Josiah David, and welcome to another episode of the Correcting SolRosenberg84 series. And this is one he just recently released. And I'm sorry for my raspy voice, it's been getting cold up here, breathing in cold air really make my sore throat, but whatever. And this is going to be a response to a response to a response I made of one of Mike's videos. And I'm going to say the only thing I liked so far about this video, Mike, was only your laugh. You've laughed pretty funny. But I'm going to have to, you try to say, this one is titled Unintentional Creationist Comedy. Well, I'm going to have to say, Sol, that your very own channel promotes a lot of comedy. And you just got caught with your pants down when you say, oh, we use cussing to be funny and stuff like that. Your channel is full of that. You use funny remarks, weird and funny noises, rude and funny noises, weird remarks, sweeping, sarcastic hallucinations and sweeping statements. And, you know, you even brought up, like, posting Kent Hovind crap. Again, it wasn't Kent Hovind, it was from Ken Ham's Answers book. And what he is saying isn't, what his science research, lecturing, and tutorage and logic isn't crap. And yes, that is something I used to do before making videos, like posting long comments and such. People don't like to do people don't like to watch or read long textings, because it's just plain, you don't have time for it. And the reason why I didn't respond to your stuff earlier was because I was already getting swamped with personal messages every day. And you say, oh, cussing, all these words are oh so lovely. Well, maybe you should look the word lovely up in the dictionary. I'd rather say that the decent vocabulary is rather lovely, and I say again that cussing and swearing is a degenerate sarcasm for those who have lost their decent vocabulary. And you say, oh, I have an unintentional comedy, ha ha ha. Well, I'm saying this right up front. I intend to be meticulous in my work. And if you guys try to profess that what we say is funny and stupid, I'm gonna have to say you're really caught up in your own worldview. That you come to a point that you think anything that dares question it, logically questions it, is going to be funny or stupid. You know, like what questions Darwinism. And you try to say cosmology says that life isn't a coincidence. Yeah, it might. Could say that, thankfully. But that's what evolutionism says. Life is a coincidence, and I have to say that creation science really explains cosmology quite well. And you say, oh, the Bible's a magical book. Look, no, that's the wrong word. There's no such thing as magic. There is such a thing as supernatural and miraculous. Oh, because this book told me so. Look. Cussing is wrong according to our God-given conscience, unperverted conscience, all right? I mean, not only does the Bible say so, but your own conscience could tell you that it was basically wrong. It's a common sense thing to understand that it's the wrong thing to do. And you try to say the galaxy is big and old. Yeah, I agree that it's big, but way to go on bringing up the supernovas, because it's not really old. They actually confirm that it's a young universe. And yes, supernovas occur like every 25 to 30 years, not 100 years. You just got something wrong there. But they can't find more than 300 supernova rings. Well, if the universe was billions of years old, why aren't there billions of supernova rings? And I'm going to put it this way. Perhaps the Earth was only created for life, and the rest was created for decoration. Like, no life anywhere else. I mean, would you feel bored under a big blank black sky at night? And I said, oh, there are no rules, I don't care, party, 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 because I have come across that kind of attitude on the internet sometimes. For example, the user Dead and Livin' like to party all the time, and that's thinking a lot of people get into their minds like that's how you find meaning in life, when actually it's not. You're always going to feel like you're missing something. And I don't kill, steal, and rape, etc. because your average common sense person could tell you that it wasn't right. Second, because it doesn't better society, it just worsens it. And thirdly, you can become infamous and looked down upon in society. And fourthly and ultimately, all those things are completely wrong and sin. God says it's wrong, and we didn't invent the Christian God. We're trying to do what he says. I wouldn't want to invent one that tells me I can't do some things I'd like to do. And the question is whether what you're doing is supporting the boss. The question is whether what you're doing is upsetting the boss and lord of your life. And please don't call me a psychopath. That's a psychopath thing to do, and calling me a psychopath. That word really goes for Muhammad, who was nothing more than a murdering pedophile false prophet, as history shows. And you say, and yes, I have compassion to have empathy and stuff as like. Well, I thank God for installing that into I mean, in the first place, since I'm created in His image to be have caring and kindness. And I said, oh, research in light of a biblical, truthful worldview, because the Bible is a study book that tells you how to use your brain. The Bible upholds science and reason. You can read Isaiah 1:18 or Daniel 1:4 for that. And most branches of science were started by Christians, and it has been researched in many areas and makes logical sense. For example, the Bible says there were giants in the earth in those days, and the evidence shows that there were giants in the earth in those days. And I have to I say this again, I love science, but it does not know everything. It only tells us how the world functions. Just because you know the operation doesn't explain the origination, okay? And we can't speculate about the past when we weren't there, but we have a logical history book that can tell us otherwise. But please quit using the word magical on the Bible. You're confusing yourself and others. And what if this book, remnants of this book, had always been around, if it wasn't probably put together in 1611, that still teached and informed and reminded people that they were created by an intelligent designer, which would logically explain the complexity in their body, like the DNA. The Bible already said, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I'm trying to tell people what to do. Look, I'm trying to inform people what their true origins are about something important. And there's testimonies of people who have gotten saved that their God-given conscience is turned right back on, that they automatically know what is right and wrong to do, even without reading the Bible yet. And I said, oh, Darwin, man. I just put forth a little bit of humor of taking Darwin's name in vain, but I did not say Darwin supported cussing or whatever. What he teaches can use to support that immoral behavior. And I have to say that he looked like the saddest looking man I ever saw. You say he was liked among these so-called biologists. Well, perhaps not because of his supposed science or research, but because they liked the idea that God didn't exist. When you say, oh, Newton was idiot, terrible, he has been rated as almost the greatest scientist that ever lived. He established a major branch in science in calculus and gravity. And I said the gospel is far from religion, and I don't say that and that's it. If there's proof, evidence, and confirmation for it, then it's no longer faith or religion, but it's truth. It's showing us what our true origins are and how everything in the world has been running in accordance with it till now. And I'm going to have to say that when Paul preached to the Greeks in Acts 17, I'm going to have to say they knew that they were being told a message that was totally opposite to the religious system that they were brought up in. Okay? And the Bible says that the religion that's pure in God's eyes is caring for the orphans and the widows and such. But that's all I have to say for this video. I know it was quite recent and kind of long, but that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say for this video. All right? It was recently released. I just had to make this. So, peace out. Keep thinking. Jesus bless you. And TTFN, ta-ta for now. And I'm sure that Mike is a very funny, smart, and intelligent person, but he's not wise, and he's incorrect. And I just can't let people fall for this flawed logic. So, goodbye.